All right. You know, there's been a lot of talk about influencing our democracy. And you hear it a lot from the left, you hear it a lot from the Democrats, you hear it a lot in the media. They act like they're so concerned about this whole Russia scandal and them influencing America's democracy. But who's really influencing America's democracy is not Russia. It is the Democrats and the liberal media. Now, why do I say that? Well, because this. Number one, it isn't Vladimir Putin that is keeping this Russia scandal going for political purposes. It is the Democrats and the liberal media. And they're not doing it because they're really concerned about the influence of Russia in our democracy. Because the bottom line is Russia, along with everybody else, has tried to influence our voting process. And there is no evidence whatsoever that anyone in America changed their vote because of outside influences. The reality is people voted for Donald Trump because he had a better message. Hillary was crooked and America wanted some change. But because they lost, and now they're doing everything they can to, number one, discredit Donald Trump's legitimacy. Number two, undermine everything he's trying to do. And number three, eventually get rid of him. Because of that, what they're doing is they've thrown this Russia scandal or story in the face of the people. All this does is divide us as a nation and also create all this skepticism about our democracy, which, if that's the case, that Vladimir Putin wanted to do that, they are handing it to him on a silver platter by doing this for political reasons, but indirectly helping him to undermine our democracy. If they would shut their mouths about it like Barack Obama did when he found out, because he knew that, and he said it himself, there's no way for any outside source to affect us, and anybody who thinks they could, they sound ridiculous. Well, guess what? All of these people who were Barack Obama fans that are all now talking about, well, Russia undermined our democracy and this and that, y'all sound ridiculous. For once, President Obama was right. People who are saying that Russia interfered with our democracy and undermined it sounds absolutely ridiculous, because the voters in the United States, including myself, black, white, everybody I talked to, not one person said that they voted for Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump because of Russia influence. They looked at Hillary's policies and her message and said it's garbage. They looked at the state that America was in and said, we are not winning anymore. Our society is too politically correct, hypersensitive over every single thing, and invest too much time and money into appeasing all these small interest groups instead of the needs of the masses of American citizens. But the second way that they've undermined our democracy is because the campaign process. Now, the goal is to present your argument, your policies, and to convince people that you are better suited to be the president than the other person. Not to stage people to go into rallies and start violence. Not to cut out your opponent's legs from under them like they did to Bernie Sanders. Not to come up with lies and wild conspiracy theories about your opponent that are proven wrong. Not to have secret meetings with all of the liberal media outlets and go into cahoots to devise a full-blown plan to sway the voters' opinions based on creating false narratives, based on mixing truth with lies, based on withholding information. All of these things undermine our democracy. But then, let's go one step further. Donald Trump overcomes those obstacles and he wins anyway. Now that he's in the office, they're falsifying a big fat story, and they are doing everything they can to get this man out of there, yet the democracy has spoken. He won. All the people voted him in. And now they're trying to undermine the democracy that was put in place. They can't take a loss. And I was watching Tucker Carlson, And this guy from California gets on there and he starts talking about, yeah, I've started articles of impeachment. And Tucker was questioning him for what? And the stuff that he was saying, and if you are not a studious, if you're not a studier of politics, or you're just a casual watcher, this guy kept referring to the president interfered with the investigation, and it shows that he provided obstruction of justice. And you should have heard how he was twisting what was said every time. And I'm glad Tucker's smart enough and have done enough research to say that is not what he said. But if you just watch that show and you see him try to put this together somehow, and if you don't call him on it, people will buy into it. The same thing with the media. Just like when they always talk about President Trump and their opinion of how he is racist. And they say things like, I just watched it the other day, somebody's on there, here's a man who called all the Mexicans rapists, drug dealers, and I'm going, there needs to be somebody on there that says, wait a minute, he never called all Mexicans drug dealers, rapists, and so on and so forth. You are making this up. You're implying it. You're taking things completely out of context to create a false narrative. What this is doing is undermining our democracy, and is dividing our country based off of political motivation. And not to mention this whole liberal movement. When you talk about democracy, one thing that we enjoy in our democracy is the freedom to be able to speak what you feel, say what you want, believe what you want, attend what church you want to attend. All of these wonderful benefits that America is supposed to be built on. But yet you have this liberal movement, you have the Democratic movement, you have the liberal media movement, all trying to force us to bow to their liberal views. And if you disagree and say something that they don't agree with, they will attack you in such a vicious way to shut your mouth and shut down our right of free speech and so on and so forth. And to me, that undermines our democracy. If we do not see this for what it is, and people do not see through this garbage and this secret diabolical scheme to unravel really the foundation of a lot of American beliefs, if you don't see through it, you are going to become a victim of it. And that is why they are attacking Donald Trump in such a vicious, unfair manner, coming up with all of this garbage, because they want to pollute the mind of a lot of Americans to buy into this whole, you can't say and feel what you feel unless it agrees with us. Then we'll embrace you. And that's what undermines our democracy. To subliminally plant this new idea, this new behavior, this new social acceptance that they're trying to impact the American mind with, undermines our democracy. And people don't see it. They are a victim of suggestion. They are a victim of propaganda. They are a victim of the media. And they don't even see how these overreactions, false claims, and false narratives are nothing but manipulation. They're doing it and they're bringing it up in the context of, this is so horrible. And if you don't believe what we believe, you're immoral. If you don't believe that this shouldn't be a certain way, we have to question what's on the inside of you. That is what they're doing. And to me, totally undermines our democracy. So hopefully, if you have any social IQ, any awareness, you are able to see through this and see the real intention of what they're trying to implement into our society, to where our society breaks down and allow anything to go without saying nothing about it. And for those that hold on to their own principles, values, or opinions, then they are silenced. They're shut up, because if they open their mouth, immediately, you're racist, you're sexist, you're xenophobe. Oh, you hate gay people. Oh, you hate Muslims. That's why. And so that is the goal. And y'all are about to, if you buy into it, you are going to surrender your rights of free speech. You're going to end up surrendering your opinion about how we protect this country. You're going to surrender your opinion about how our education is provided, what we can watch, what we can do. They are putting a lockdown on us, and they're saying it's because we want to be more liberal, more free. But that is false freedom and liberalism. It really will put chains on you and make you less free to be able to say what you want to say, feel what you want to feel and do what you want to do without severe consequences and persecution. So if you don't think that that is the end time goal, keep on. If you are one of those people that's, oh, Donald Trump, he's this. As crazy as Donald Trump may seem sometimes, he is the only thing right now standing between us and an all-out silence of freedom of speech, freedom of expression, just practical, logical reasoning when it comes to protecting our country, stabilizing our military, helping us with trade, economy, all of these practical things. And the media and the Dems got people so blinded on looking at all of these crazy false narratives that they're going to miss the substance and really the benefit of having a president that does not play by their rules and will stand up for fundamental American values, principles, and the Constitution. So that's just food for thought. Every time I watch the news and hear crazy people talking, it just bothers me and prompts me to just say something. Hopefully there's somebody out there listening and it makes sense.